In this first episode of the MindFuel podcast, I want to talk to a very specific person. The smart kid. The gifted one. The one who was told they had so much potential. Imagine a light, bright, full of promise. That light was your potential. It's what your teachers admired. What your parents celebrated. What everyone expected would take you far. But now here you are. Maybe you're sitting at a desk, doing a job you landed out of necessity, not because it matched the degree you studied so hard for. You were the smart kid. So why do you feel so stuck? So lost? You probably don't feel fulfilled. Your mental exhaustion? Through the roof. Deep down, you know your talents are being wasted. You scroll through social media and feel like everyone else is 2 steps ahead. That clarity you once had? It's gone. And in its place? Just a nagging feeling of disappointment. One that hangs over your head like a cloud you can't shake. Success, fulfillment, purpose. They feel like distant memories. And then you remember your childhood report cards. Those glowing remarks predicting a bright future. It baffles you. It angers you. They set me up for this, you think. They told me I was special, gifted, that being smart would make life easier. You once dreamed of changing the world, making discoveries, being recognized for your intellect. But now, they feel like just that. Dreams. A broken promise. One you've been left to carry. But what if you were wrong? What if there was still a way to reclaim that potential? What if there's actually a science behind fulfillment? A map to the life you thought was lost? Would you believe me? Because I promise you, I'm not lying. And by the end of this journey, you'll start to see a part of your story you've never considered before. But I won't sugarcoat it. The road is hard. You'll face truths your early praise never prepared you for. And many will quit before they reach the end. But for those who don't, at the end of this road lies a kind of fulfillment, deeper than what you thought was even possible. At the end lies the peace of never having to ask, what if? So I ask you, are you still with me? Then let's begin. What do you really think about intelligence? Is it something you're born with? Is it earned, or is it developed? Is it the golden ticket to success? Are you desperate to prove you still have it? Have you been chasing validation most of your life? Here's the truth. Most of what you think about intelligence has been influenced by your early experiences and your environment. If you were praised for being naturally smart rather than for your effort, then you're more inclined to believe your worth depends on how effortlessly you can achieve. Or perhaps you went the complete opposite route, deciding to work twice as hard so you'd never be seen as an impostor again. But here's the catch. No one taught you how to fail. No one taught you how to struggle. And because of that, many of you carry false beliefs about your potential. Beliefs that won't help you on this journey. Now stick with me, because we're going to change the way you've been seeing intelligence your whole life. You see, our education system has always had a habit of depicting intelligence as something fixed. Something you either have or you don't. So the real question is, have you bought into that stereotype? A growing body of research shows that among the world's most successful individuals, the ones making remarkable achievements, very few attribute their success to natural talent alone. What sets them apart? It's not genius. It's mindset. It's resilience. It's the ability to adapt. Carol Dweck calls it the growth mindset. Angela Duckworth calls it grit. The truth is, your equation is all wrong. You've been taught this 2-dimensional formula. Success equals natural intelligence plus hard work. But past a certain point, being the smartest becomes the sole purpose of your identity. So what's wrong with that, you ask? Well, I'm going to assume that if you're listening to this, you're not just looking for prestige or another award. You're searching for something deeper. Meaning, fulfillment, authenticity. And if that's your goal, then this equation for success will never get you there. We all have a precious resource, the most important one of all. Once it's gone, there's no way of getting it back. That resource is your authentic self. In a standard achievement-focused life, the amount of satisfaction you feel is directly tied to the level of alignment you have with your true values and strengths. So what happens if you were praised for being a math prodigy, but deep down your heart lies in creative expression? You could spend an entire lifetime in misalignment, chasing someone else's version of success. And that's without accounting for the courage it takes to redirect your path, or the years of self-discovery you'll need to go through. The reality is, on a path built around external validation, you'll only ever feel fulfilled in temporary bursts, moments of achievement, followed by long stretches of emptiness. And by the time you realize it, most of that precious resource, your authentic potential, has slipped through your fingers. You traded it for praise, and it wasn't even that substantial in the end. So again you ask yourself, how is it that some people seem genuinely fulfilled, even at a young age? What makes them so different? Here's the answer. They have a better equation than you. They have a way of understanding success that you haven't quite grasped yet. Pay very close attention now. Stop chasing perfection. In a complex world, the rules of the game are clear. You find fulfillment in proportion to how aligned your life is with your authentic abilities and values, and how those, in turn, align with contributing meaningful value to others. The people who benefit from your authentic contribution? They are the world, your friends, your family, your community, your society. Your impact is defined by how your authentic strengths meet the world's needs. Now here's the trap. People who were labeled as smart kids often feel a pressure to maintain that identity at all costs. But if you want to be truly successful, there must be alignment between who you really are and what you're actually doing. People have to see the value in your authentic contribution for it to be sustainable. And when there's alignment between what lights you up and what the world needs, guess what happens to your sense of purpose? It blossoms. Naturally. It's not about how smart you are. The straight A student who's miserable in a high-paying corporate job? They are far less fulfilled than the B student who found their calling. Why? Because the world values authenticity and impact, not just intellectual brilliance. As harsh as it may sound, the smart kid identity is replaceable. Anyone can memorize facts or learn how to ace standardized tests. But your unique perspective, your specific way of seeing the world, your authentic strengths, those cannot be replicated. Still, clinging to this smart kid identity is not the right equation for finding deep fulfillment. Not in a meaningful period of time. So how do you increase your authentic impact? What is it about people who seem genuinely fulfilled that makes their lives so purposeful? Here's the first step in the equation for fulfillment, and it's surprisingly simple. If you want meaning, solve problems that matter to you. Pause and really let that sink in. Just about all lasting fulfillment flows from this simple principle. If it solves a problem that matters to you, meaning will follow naturally. If it's a problem that deeply resonates with your values, then the solution will bring you deep fulfillment. If it's a problem that affects many others, then the solution will bring widespread impact. Think of Jane Goodall. She solved problems that deeply mattered to her: conservation, animal welfare, environmental education. Her work didn't just spark fulfillment for her, it inspired countless others and addressed problems on a global scale. That's what happens when purpose and contribution collide. So if you've been chasing this smart kid validation, you've been doing it all wrong. It sounds counterintuitive, but if you're seeking fulfillment, it's not intelligence you should be chasing. It's problems that ignite your passion, and even more importantly, solutions that align with your authentic strengths. Once you find that alignment, build a life around it. But maybe you're thinking, wait, so that's it? Just solve problems and fulfillment will appear? So what? Now I need to launch the next revolutionary nonprofit? Or create world-changing research? Come on. I don't even know what I'm passionate about. I don't have the clarity. I can't even. Hold up. That's the old pattern of thinking again. Start with a problem. Always start with a problem. Listen to the world around you. What are the issues you feel personally drawn to solve? What are the needs you see that align with your strengths? What are the challenges that genuinely engage your mind? Is that a problem you can help solve? And just as importantly, is it a problem that resonates with your authentic self? That's where fulfillment begins. At this point in your journey, you're likely to face one of two paths. You either continue deepening your authentic path or you pivot and redirect. This moment, right here, is about integration. It's the realization, the quiet but powerful recognition of the authentic value you've spent years building your life around. It's the former corporate lawyer turned filmmaker who finally finds their voice. It's the engineer who stepped into teaching and discovered a profound calling. It's the countless transformation stories quietly unfolding around the world every single day. This is the culmination, where all the effort, growth, and choices you've made in pursuit of your authentic life begin to bear fruit. And if you choose to keep refining this path, there are many reasons you might feel called to do so. Maybe you love the life you've built and want to expand its impact. Maybe you know deep down that you can add even more value to the world and uncover more meaning along the way. Perhaps your work is so aligned with your nature that it sustains you effortlessly, without needing to push or pretend. Or maybe it's a blend of all these things. Whatever the reason, one thing remains true. You did it. You discovered a path rooted in your truth. You aligned with who you really are. And that alignment rewarded you with the kind of fulfillment that can't be faked, borrowed, or bought. So now I ask you, what was it all for anyway? For most of you, it was never about being the smartest. Intelligence is just a tool, a means to an end. Its worth lies entirely in how you choose to use it. From the very beginning, this was never about raw intelligence. It was about finding your purpose, making an impact, and feeling aligned with your work, so deeply aligned that you no longer had to question whether you were on the right path. What you were seeking wasn't intellect. It was freedom. Not a destination based on accolades or IQ points, but a feeling, a deep, soul-level sensation. The ability to do meaningful work in your own way without constantly wondering, am I smart enough? Have I exhausted all my potential? How do I prove my worth? Will I live with regret for not following my authentic path? What dreams will I sacrifice to maintain the smart kid identity? The most profound lesson in this journey was never about the nature of intelligence. It was about authenticity. That one irreplaceable resource we all possess but can never reclaim once lost. So ask yourself, is sacrificing large parts of your authentic self for an identity you don't even enjoy worth it? Is your life defined by achievement, comparison, and chronic feelings of inadequacy? Are you stuck in a loop, sleeping, waking, repeating, until retirement? How many more hours will you allow to slip through your fingers because of this pattern? Maybe you're okay with that. Maybe, for now, you have no other choice. And if that's the case, that's okay. Even a shift in perspective is a step forward. But for those of you who see a different path, for those who never want to wonder what if, again, let this be your reminder. Stop chasing validation. Start chasing authentic alignment with the problems that matter to you. This is the equation through which all true fulfillment is found. If what you seek is freedom, the kind where your worth is no longer up for debate, then let solving meaningful problems become the authentic struggle of your life. Will this guarantee happiness? Will you feel fulfilled in the end? Only you can answer that. But if your struggle is authentic, if it comes from your truth, then perhaps, just perhaps, it's worth every step. And there it is, your equation for reclaiming lost potential. Of course, I've only scratched the surface in this exploration. Identity, purpose, fulfillment, these are vast, complex subjects, far too rich to fully unpack in a single discussion. But if you're ready to begin this journey, I encourage you to start by diving into some foundational concepts. The difference between a fixed and growth mindset, the role of authenticity in both work and life, and the idea of ikigai, the Japanese philosophy of living with purpose. Still, it's important to revisit something I mentioned early on. Most people will not succeed in this transformation. Not because they're incapable, but because it's hard. It takes consistent self-honesty, courage, and time. But the most crucial part of all is this: fail forward. Let failure become information, not evidence of your inadequacy. Because every setback is a clue, a breadcrumb guiding you closer to the life that fits you best. And if you're currently doing something that doesn't fully align with your authentic self, that's okay too. Fulfillment isn't reserved only for those who've already found their perfect path. It often begins with a simple question. What problems am I uniquely positioned to solve? Asking this can shift the way you view your current role, whether it's a job, a project, or a career. You may discover that with a few shifts in perspective, you can create more alignment where you are. If you can find a way to solve problems that truly matter to you, even inside a structured work environment, then you have something incredibly valuable. A tool to leverage deeper fulfillment. So, I'll close with the same message I've repeated throughout. Stop chasing the smart kid identity. Start chasing authentic alignment with problems that matter to you. That's where your real potential lives. Start today. Reflect, realign, and take one step, however small, toward the life that's truly yours. And if this message resonated with you, subscribe to the podcast for more deep dives into purpose, alignment, and living authentically.